Hey, Jewel Jackson here, and I get asked a lot of times, Jewel, how did you get started doing the work that you do as an intuitive coach and energy practitioner? And so I wanted to share a story today about how I stepped into the work, one of the ways that I stepped into the work that I do. So this was back in the late 90s. I was had been married for a few years. I was a new mom, and I just didn't feel very happy. I remember feeling like I was kind of depressed and just didn't know who I was. And I went on my birthday to a friend who does aura readings, and it was always like a fun thing to do. And I remember that she said to me, she's like, "You have these triangles on your hands." And I said, "Well, what does that mean?" Because she could see your aura and she could see things around you. And she said, "Triangles usually are very healing and that you're a healer." And I remember thinking to her, "Oh, that's such BS." I said, I didn't, because I didn't feel very good at the time. I didn't feel in my power, in my purpose. And she said, I think I want to give you a card. She's a friend of mine who does Reiki. And so she gave me her name and number on a business card, and I took it home, and I remember I put it in a drawer, a junk drawer of business cards, and it sat in there for about a year. And I remember like a year later, have you ever gotten to a point where you're just so sick and tired of being sick and tired? I was at that point, and I remember digging through that drawer, trying to find that business card, and I just said, I am going to try this because I don't know what else to do. I just wasn't feeling good in life. And so I called her up and I made a Reiki appointment, and I went to see her. And I remember during that session, so much happened, and visuals were coming through. I was emotional, I was happy, I was crying. And I remember at the end of it, I sat up and I looked at her and I said, I don't know what just happened, but it was powerful and I need to learn this. And so I started training with her. She was a Reiki master, and I went through level 1 and level 2 training in 1999. And then I continued to train with her over a few years to become a Reiki master. And I became a Reiki master in 2001 when I was 8 months pregnant with my second kiddo. And that's when I got my attunement as a Reiki master. And I just remember feeling like I found something that really helped me figure out who I was. And I learned Reiki for the purpose of working on myself first and foremost. I wasn't learning it to share it with others. And I worked on myself for a while before I started teaching Reiki and sharing it. I think it was about 5 years. But it really changed my life. It was profound for me in so many levels. And Reiki is just pure love and light energy, and it helped me understand and learn more about our chakra system and how we can navigate the world differently. And it was just beautiful. So I wanted to share my Reiki story with you all, just because I get asked that so much. And so I consider Reiki as like my foundation of energy healing that I learned back in 1999. And I've learned other modalities since then, but Reiki was my first energy healing practice that I feel got me on my path in the work that I'm doing today. So my question for you is, what in your life, what story do you have on something that really got you on your path and journey? You can just share something below. I'd love to hear a nugget of your story too. All right, bye for now.